Welcome back to the Run Home with Joel and Fletch, and we're charging to the line just like our next guest. I'm very, very much looking forward to our next guest, Brian, and you and I have been cheering him on for many years now. 1300 01 1170 is the way to have your say, and in my opinion, he's the best on the planet. We're talking about our next guest. Before we do so, we are here for MFP Easy, voted Queensland's best fiberglass pool builder, and Sonos game-changing sound this festive season. This particular fellow, in 2023, Brian, he won the Cox Plate, the Victoria Derby, the VRC Oaks, the Champion Stakes, and much, much more. He's had an absolute stellar spring, and I'm pleased to say the best on the planet in his chosen vocation. James McDonald, a.k.a. J-Mac, joins the Run Home with Joel and Fletch. Hello, J-Mac.
Oh, very kind of you. How are you, boys?
Mate, you've just done it again. Third time, best in the spring. And you're going to run tomorrow and then you're off to Hong Kong. Is that right?
Yeah, so we got Wednesday races, Friday night races, and then Saturday, and then we take off Saturday night. We got Sunday races up in Hong Kong. So looking forward to it. It's going to be a busy schedule, but yeah, we should be good to go.
So, James, were you always going to go to Hong Kong? Was this always in the plans, or was it?
Not really. I actually finished the carnival down in Melbourne, thinking I've got a quiet 6 weeks up my sleeve with Christmas and New Year's coming up, and got a call out of the blue. I was always going to go to Hong Kong for only 2 weeks though, but the club's kindly enough given me an opportunity to go there for 6 weeks, which over that period is really good racing. Obviously, we've got the international meeting, which is huge up there in the 10th of December. So I was always going to be there for that one, but they've all asked us to stay on or start a week early and finish 3 weeks later. So it's worked out pretty damn good, I think.
So you've got your young daughter. She just turned 1. Is the whole family going to go over?
Yeah, we're all shipping up, so that plane ride's going to be interesting on Saturday night. First 9-hour trip up, or 9.5, whatever it is. But hopefully it goes smoothly because I've got to ride the next day, but should be right.
Hey, J-Mac, just take us back. I'd love for our listeners to get into your headspace prior to the spring. Obviously, you've had a very successful spring, 5 Group 1s. But prior to the spring, what was the horse or two that you were most fired up about? And maybe they didn't win for you. I'm not quite sure. But what was the 1 or 2 horses prior to the spring commencing that you thought, by gee, it's going to be fun with this particular horse?
Well, there's no two questions about it. It was Romantic Warrior for the Cox Plate. Obviously, it was well documented that it was... I basically worded the owners up in Hong Kong to bring him down. I just thought he'd be the perfect Cox Plate horse. And look, it doesn't always work out like that, but he's a pretty ambitious sort of owner, and he took the chance to travel his superstar horse over. We're talking Romantic Warrior to the Cox Plate, and he got beat first up, and which was a little surprise, but he was just a little bit porky in that, and then he just improved leaps and bounds towards the Cox Plate, and we were lucky enough to get a result there. But he's a superstar horse, and he was definitely the flag bearer for my team anyway, sort of going forward.
James, how much research do you do in other horses? Like if you're sitting back, do you watch? It's a bit like rugby league or cricket. Are you watching videos of races of other horses and say, you know what, I don't mind that?
Oh, 100%. There's plenty of that going on. Obviously, knowing your opposition is, I suppose, it's exactly like rugby league. So you got to know the ins and outs there. Everyone's got habits they gravitate to, and so knowing the horse as well as the opposition in terms of jockeys, it's very crucial. And I suppose we've got to work with 2 of them because we've got 2 brains clicking at once, a horse and a jockey. So there's a bit of work to go into it.
That's a big part of it, isn't it? Like, clearly you're a superstar jockey, J-Mac, but choosing the horse and the right races and where they place. And, of course, you've had a lot to do with Chris Waller. Now, ironically, both you 2 gentlemen, New Zealanders, and I've been saying for a long time on this particular program...
What happened in the World Cup?
No,
sorry.
No. The population of New Zealand, J-Mac, is 5 million or thereabouts. But what New Zealand seem to achieve on the world stage is pretty phenomenal. You know, what's the secret to all the success from the Kiwis, would you say?
Oh, good milk. We're brought up on good dairy milk, good farming life, good morals. No, I don't know. We obviously better. We're big rugby fanatics over in New Zealand. We live and breathe it. I suppose every kid like myself, I even know all we wanted to do was be an All Black, and I suppose you start with that and you work out where you got to go after that. And unfortunately, size back put a stop to that. But we're pretty lucky. We grew up having a really fun upbringing, I suppose. And it's the same here, I suppose, but I'm not too sure what it is. But we seem to have a bit of luck anyway on the world stage, I suppose.
James McDonald, when you're not the superstar jockey and just the fan at home, and you've got a bit of time to watch another sport, is it the All Blacks that you choose to watch? Is there another sort of code you're following closely?
Yeah, on NRL, I haven't. I've obviously been here 12 years now, so the All Blacks have been on the back burner, and so the Roosters is my team, and I like following them. But Sydney Swans have been good. I enjoy going to a live game with the AFL. So no, it's any sport really. I really enjoy my golf as well. So anytime I can get out, I get out.
I see Sam Clipperton down. He plays at my local down at Wallara there. He's a pretty handy golfer. Is it quite competitive out in the course, James?
Yeah, it is. Bloody yes, it is. We all like winning, I suppose. But I haven't played with Sam. But there's plenty of jockeys in the jockeys room that like to have a swing. That's for sure.
And is there a wager? Are you having a little bit of a wager at the end of it?
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's pretty good, eh?
That is good. It is good.
That's pretty good, eh? Hey, James McDonald, as you go to Hong Kong, similar question to what I asked you about the Spring. Is there one or two that you're extra fired up about when you make your sojourn to Hong Kong?
Well, I've accumulated a pretty good book of rides probably over the next few weeks. So, Romantic Warrior for the Hong Kong Cup's probably the main one, and then I've got Victor the winner in the sprint. Yeah, just bits and pieces. I should be pretty strong over that international period, 10th of December.
What about in the Spring? When were you? What horse were you most confident on?
You know what? It's going to sound funny, but it was Fangirl. I thought she was just unbeatable with in the new race, the King Charles, which is brilliant on Everest Day, and her work. Chris Waller was so happy with her, and she was just airborne. She won by about 3 or 4 lengths, so she was probably the one.
Now, Jimmy, I've been stalking you on social media, and I've seen you've been getting into ice baths. I mean, everyone in the eastern suburbs seems to be posting that sort of stuff. I've been doing it as well. The fad is real.
Yes.
What benefits are you getting out of it, James?
Mate, just because I put my body through so much, I've got to lose a lot of weight, 2 kilos basically every meeting. So I get really sore the next day, and I just go there early in the morning, plonk myself in, and I just feel great. By the afternoon, I'm ready to attack the day again. So not only for the body, I reckon it was really good for the mind as well.
Yeah, because, I mean, the jockeys, are you still doing your steam rooms and stuff? Or they're saying that you can actually lose weight by getting into, 2 and 4 degrees water.
Yeah, it is. We do a lot of steam room. That's saunas and sweat runs or whatever. But just to maintain a weight, nothing's better than jumping in an ice bath straight after. You just feel like you can go again. So we're lucky. A lot of the jockeys' rooms in Sydney and Melbourne, they supply ice baths and saunas on course. So they're fantastic facilities.
Do you know, I was talking to a leading athlete, physio, what do they call them? Exercise science person. And they said doing a gym session directly after the ice bath, massive results. So most people have an ice bath after an event.
Oh, you do it? Yeah, right. Ice bath, then
straight into an exercise.
All right, Jimmy, what about that? Imagine before a slipper.
Jump into
an ice bath. I wouldn't be able to do it because the aim of the game is I've got to try and lose 2 kilos, and if I hop in an ice bath, I don't think that I'm going to sweat that well for the next hour.
Oh. Well, get down the weight and then jump in. I want to know this,
that's what
James.
I do.
Yeah. I want to know this. When you're is there any sledging with the jockeys when you're sitting in there before a Group 1? Or is it all pretty relaxed? You just keep yourself?
No, it's all pretty quiet, eh? There's no real sledging, but obviously out in the race there's obviously a lot of chatter going on, I suppose, especially early part of the race. As soon as we jump out of the barriers, people are trying to get positions, and it's a fine line, when you get tightening up or something like that. Yes, there's a few words getting exchanged, and even late in the piece, we all see the goat, the Ollie, just retiring. He was very vocal in his at the finish of the end of a race. So there's plenty going on.
Well, we've got the jockey cam. Is there any chance we could mic up a jockey like we do in the NRL? Would you be willing to do that, or would you incriminate yourself by calling people bad names?
Probably not. To be fair, I think the Melbourne boys they were going to think about miking all the jockeys up, and the trainers were going to communicate with them throughout the race. But I just don't think that'd be a great idea.
No, I'd be fascinating to listen to. I love a good sledge. Just
a couple of quick ones before you go. Your best ever horse that you believe you've ridden to this point?
I always get asked that sort of question. It's probably, look, the most successful one is probably Very Elegant, who won a Melbourne Cup, but and then Nature Strip, who won an Everest. So I've gone from the fastest horse to obviously a more dour horse, but they're the two that spring to mind.
If you're guaranteed to win your next big race, you're guaranteed to get at least one more of Melbourne Cup, Cox Plate, Everest, whatever the race may be, you would choose what?
Melbourne Cup, I think. It was a phenomenal day when I won it, and because it was the first one. I suppose it's it was also surreal. Even to this day, it's hard to believe. So I reckon that if you're lucky enough to win it again, it would be probably it would sink in quicker, and I reckon I'd really appreciate it.
J-Mac, we really appreciate your time here on the Run Home with Joel and Fletch. The board's lit up. They love you. You're doing a wonderful job. In my opinion, yes, we're paying great tribute to Damien Oliver, who's an absolute champion. I think one day, most certainly, you're going to be at least in that conversation, maybe beyond that, as the greatest jockey we've ever seen on our shores. But, mate, just before you go, and I don't wish to think on a negative, but the Magic Man, people have been critical of his ride in the Melbourne Cup. Is that fair? Is it unfair? Do you feel as though he got it wrong on Salcombe?
I think it was pretty unfair. Like, the horse is not an easy horse. So I've had a little bit to do with him as well, and he's a very quirky sort of. He's got his mind of his own at most times, and he's pretty hard to ride. So I don't think it would have changed too much. To be fair, he was obviously a little bit unlucky, but there's plenty of unlucky stories in racing.
He's talking out of his kick here, James.
Who, me?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, maybe.
Get the violin out.
James McDonald, it's been an absolute treat for us to have you here on the Run Home with Joel and Fletch. Go well in Hong Kong, mate. We'll be most certainly paying close attention, won't we, Brian?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Best of luck on the 9-hour trip too. Finnegan's your friend.
Yeah, great friend.
Finnegan is your friend for the little one. It's an antihistamine.
You're a legend. Cheers, boys.
Thanks, James.
Thanks, guys.
James McDonald on the Run Home with Joel and Fletch. If you just caught the back end of that, you need to hear the whole chat in its entirety. What an absolute superstar. And you can catch all that on the podcast.